But the office didn't bear the Porsche name. That was to come later. These were designs commissioned by other manufacturers, for instance, early small car projects for Zündorf, the Type 12, and NSU, the Type 32. They can now be seen as forerunners of the first great milestone in the new company's history, the Type 60, later to be known as the Volkswagen or People's Car. Part of its concept was the torsion bar suspension, for which Porsche was granted a patent. Other design work followed. Then came a commission to develop a new Grand Prix racing car for Auto Union. This potent vehicle had a supercharged V16 engine located behind the driver, but ahead of the rear axle. The mid-engine concept featured on this P, or Porsche racing car, is still to be seen on today's Formula One designs. But let's return from the Champions League to the compact car class, and to a decisive breakthrough. Ferdinand Porsche's draft outline submitted to the German Reich's Ministry of Transport on January the 17th, 1934 was entitled Exposé on the Construction of a German People's Car. Soon after this, he was given an order to design and build the first prototypes, which were assembled in the garage of Porsche's villa in Stuttgart, starting in 1935.
Es kam dann zu einem Vertrag zur Entwicklung des Volkswagens.
The contract to develop the Volkswagen contained some very tough terms and conditions. Porsche's design office was only authorized to charge 20,000 Reichsmarks and had to finish the task within 10 months.
Verrechnen. Und die Gesamtzeit sollte nicht länger als 10 Monate.
It's fair to say that some preliminary development work had been done on the 3 Type 32 and Type 12 small cars, but 20,000 Reichsmarks was far from generous for the services of a complete design office and all the development work that was needed.
Für alle Entwicklungsarbeiten, das war schon sehr, sehr wenig.
The Volkswagen project not only called for the car to be developed to series production readiness, but also for the production plant to be planned in Fallersleben, which is now known as Wolfsburg. The established car industry was skeptical. How could such an ambitious project possibly succeed? But Ferdinand Porsche went ahead and overcame every obstacle. That was typical of his personality. When he decided to do a thing, there was no stopping him. Ferry Porsche remembers development work on the Volkswagen.
Es wäre der Autoindustrie lieber gewesen, das Projekt gelingt.
The car industry would have been happier if the project had flopped. A supervisor rode in each of the test cars, each of which was expected to cover 30,000 kilometers without any trouble. But after they had completed the 30,000 kilometers, the Reichs Automobile Manufacturers Association got together and decided to call for 50,000 kilometers without any failures. And so testing continued until the cars had covered 50,000 kilometers. In that time, a few faults naturally developed, but nothing serious. The manufacturers had no option but to accept the final report that ended with the words, "This design should be pursued further." The Porsche Design Office, which moved to the Zuffenhausen suburb of Stuttgart in 1938, was also undertaking other commissions from the motor vehicle industry. For Daimler-Benz, it designed the Type 80 with a 3,500 horsepower engine. Hans Stuck was preparing to recapture the world speed record for Germany in this car when war broke out and the record attempt was cancelled. For the Berlin-Rome long-distance race, work started in 1938 on the Type 64, often referred to as the Berlin-Rome car. This streamlined racing coupe definitely hinted at the genes of later Porsche sports cars. Since it was based on the Type 60, it was expected to provide favorable publicity for the Volkswagen.
Es sollte ja eine Wettfahrt stattfinden, Berlin-Rom.
The Berlin-Rome race was scheduled for September 1939. And we had already built 3 VWs with the streamlined body. But the event was cancelled after war broke out. It was this project that inspired us after the war to build our first Porsche, but with a load-bearing body instead.